Heading to Las Vegas to catch the action at Allegiant Stadium? Skip the traffic and the sky-high room rates of the Strip. Book your stay at the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. The South Point is located just 7 miles away from the stadium, and it's a quick trip up the freeway, making it an affordable rideshare or taxi ride. And don't worry about getting here when you land in Vegas. We offer a convenient airport shuttle to get your getaway off to a stress-free start. Shuttles are also available on Raider game days for a small fee. So whether you're rooting for your team or seeing your favorite band in concert at Allegiant Stadium, South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa is your ticket to all the excitement. Are you ready to lock in your bets and cash in on the games this weekend? Get weekly football winners from Alex White, Chris Andrews, and Vinny Malulo.
I did take the dog 3.5.
I'm going to stay with the culture. That's definitely going to be one of my plays.
If the Bears have turned the corner, they have to take care of business in this game.
Yes.
Tune in for behind-the-book perspectives you won't find anywhere else.
Well, if you're looking to bet the under, you're going to get a better number.
The wise guys are certainly not going to play the favorites.
I know if it hits 7, don't blink. Maybe that's what bettors are waiting for.
Every NFL matchup, every college game that matters, the spreads, the stats, and the smart money plays.
Is there a way to bet against both teams?
Get your winning edge with Football Frenzy, streaming on YouTube every Friday at noon Pacific.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Just 100 away, and we still have 14 days. I'm feeling very excited that we can get to our goal of 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year here. So thank you so much. If you have hit that subscribe button recently, as we've been talking about hitting this goal, because we have definitely bumped up in the last week or so. This is Sports by the Book. We are live from the South Point studio, live from the South Point Hotel and Casino, south on Las Vegas Boulevard, the local spot. You want to come down here and actually check out this hotel. It is one of the best deals in town. I promise you that. I'm Alex White alongside Ryan McCormick. 5 days a week. You can find us here 10 a.m. Monday through Thursday, and of course noon on Fridays for our football frenzies with our bookmakers. We get all the best information from the guys behind the counter. Happy Wednesday, everybody. A lot to get to. Today we will go through the awards markets in the NFL, probably just a couple more times before the end of the year. It is week 16, but there were some movements this past weekend. So we're going to see if there is any value jumping on any of those guys, teams, and etc. So let's get right to it. Let's bring in Ryan McCormick. NBA Cup last night. Pretty shocking, I would say, because the New York Knicks get it done 124-113. Maybe a little bit of a letdown. The Spurs did take out the best team in the league in Oklahoma City to get here, but New York fought back and they got it done here.
Yeah, found a way to win. It was a really tight game for the majority of the game, and then they kind of just pulled away with the lead at the end, getting some foul shots and all that kind of stuff, and Spurs missing some threes and not being able to get rebounds. Good box outs on Victor Wembanyama. So, yeah, the Knicks win. They cover. The game goes over the total everywhere in the market. There were some late baskets by the Knicks that the Spurs players weren't too happy about, but over bettors, we're all happy about it. So, yeah, Knicks win and cover, ultimately end up winning the NBA Cup, and they had announced that they will not be hanging a banner in Madison Square Garden. They will be the first team to win the NBA Cup and not hang the banner. The Lakers and Bucks did so, and so the Knicks doing right and not hanging the not necessarily big trophy banner.
Very good. Yeah. And maybe this begins a little bit of a curse thing, right? Whether you hang a banner or not, right? You got a bigger goal in mind. And we know New York has been right there the last few years in the Eastern Conference. So they've got goals led by, of course, Jalen Brunson, who would like to get an actual NBA championship.
Yeah. And it kind of cracks the ice for them, allows them to get a little bit of a monkey off their back. Being everybody's saying that the Knicks can't win anything, haven't won a title in so long. But they boosted their confidence. They were able to win something. Kat was talking about wearing a shirt and hat that says champion. So the guys instilled confidence in one another. They have a really tight-knit locker room and pretty funny if you'd seen some things from last night. But ultimately, Knicks do get it done in the NBA Cup.
And we do know, I mean, we know they've had the talent, right? They just have been cursed with that injury bug the last few years when it gets down to those final series and everything. That has been their biggest struggle. So you're right. Little confidence booster there for them. So it is good to see. But the Spurs are a lot of fun too. And Wemby's definitely one of the best players right now in the league. So we'll see how they can do for the rest of the season as well. Let's move to hockey. Vince called it Turnaround Tuesday, and it was definitely a turnaround day for me. So fortunate there. I did have one loser with the Flyers and the Canadians. I thought that game was going to see a few more goals, but it did not. So overall, Ryan, how did the night turn out with totals, over and unders, and then our favorites that we've been tracking?
Yeah, so totals in the NHL yesterday went 4-6, 4 overs, 6 unders. Favorites 6, 3, and 1 against the spread. 7 puck lines were covered, 4 of which were reverse. And one of those reversed were the Utah Mammoth. So get there with the reverse puck line on my play yesterday, plus 215 on that play yesterday.
Very good. So overall, did that help you on the positive too? Because Boston couldn't cover for you. They did get the win, but didn't get the puck line there.
Yeah.
But
I didn't play the puck line with the Bruins. I did play the money line.
Oh, good. Okay.
But the puck line
was thinking that you did have that puck
was
line.
with the Mammoth there. So
Oh, okay.
Or against the Mammoth.
And then our bowl game, low scoring. We did mention that on the show that we thought it had gone too high, and we were going to see a lower scoring game there. 17-13 for Jacksonville State. Not much to say in this one.
Yeah, win in cover. Game goes under 48.5. Really under all numbers. Last minute touchdown to win the game for JVST. But we had kind of talked about how the number had moved very steady that way, and they end up covering all the numbers. So it was good for them.
Yes, it was. I'm sure it was probably good for the books, though, that it went under, because it was definitely getting bet. Like people already knew the outcome, that it was going to be a high-scoring game. We'll get to the 2 bowl games tonight. Not much to really cover, but we will update people on, just who's playing, who's not, and, of course, the coaching carousel that might make it a little tough to bet. But I think it's a little too late. I mean, that's the whole thing with these bowl games. You got to jump in early. Information is king. And if you know something and you think the number's off, you got to bet it early, because now it's kind of just too late at this point. But let's get right into it. So that is our updates. And we did have some men's college basketball. You have trends for us, at least for how the night went last night.
Yeah, how yesterday's games went. So 36 games on the men's college courts. Favorites 31-4-1 straight up. 12-21-3 against the spread. So it was a good money line night for the favorites, but good to take the dogs with the spread.
Wow. 21 dogs covering last night. So could have been very profitable if you are a dog player taking the points in that sport. There are 50 basketball games tonight. Probably going to be another week, as we had alluded to yesterday with Matt Neverett. We'll really start diving into men's basketball next week after we get a little bit more conference play. But there is one game that I am looking at. But as for the whole slate, we'll be very selective for the next few days. Exciting stuff. As I mentioned, Friday noon, we will have our football frenzy, and we've got our first round of the CFP. If you did not check it out, please go look back at our special with Chris Felica, the Bear from Fox Sports, joins us and breaks down the 4 games. So a lot of good information. information in those as well. Game coming up this Friday, rematch between Oklahoma and Alabama. So we are definitely looking forward to those big college football games this week. And the FCS. I can't leave the FCS out. We've been talking about their playoffs as well, and we will talk about that on Football Frenzy. So let's get into NFL Week 16. I am intrigued to see because did not look yet. So Ryan is going to update me on where all the movement has gone with the awards. But let's start first with our futures for the Super Bowl, for the NFC and the AFC. And let's see if we like any teams to be able to make a run here at the end and make a run in the playoffs. So where do you want to start?
We'll start in the NFC, as we've got a big matchup in the NFC tomorrow night between the Rams and Seahawks. And those are your two favorites to be NFC champion. The Rams, these prices all available here at the South Point. Rams plus 150 to be the NFC champion. Seahawks plus 325. Eagles are next at 525. Packers are 6. Niners are 9. The Bears are 12. The Lions are 15. The Bucks are 35. And then the two teams currently out of postseason picture that need some help are the Panthers and Cowboys, 100 and 300 to 1, respectively.
I would not take a shot on either of those two. The Buccaneers is kind of funny because remember when they had those big prices to start the season, Ryan, and we thought the Bucks were being undervalued, and the books and the sharps kind of knew, right? Of course, I can't predict the injuries, but maybe just the depth of the team, if anything were to happen. So wouldn't really be looking to take a shot at the Buccaneers, potentially the Lions at 15 to 1, or the 1-2 above that Chris Andrews brought up on Monday. Good. Is San Francisco 9 to 1 is their value? And I didn't mean to skip over your Bears if you do think Chicago at 12 to 1 as well. But that Niners 9 to 1 might be a little sneaky there.
Yeah, especially because they do still have a chance to be the NFC West champion and get the 1 seed ultimately. They do need help with the Seahawks and Rams losing games opposite of the one on tomorrow night, or going on tomorrow night. With the Lions and Bears, it does look like we will be getting to Week 18 and having that one decide a wild card position. So one of those two teams could be missing the playoffs entirely. The Bucks are the only other division leader north of 20 to 1. The Panthers obviously do still have a chance to win that division as well, as those two teams have 2 games head to head in the final 3 weeks. But as I had said yesterday, I think the Bucks are going to be able to take care of them in both. So yeah, would not be playing the 100 to 1 on the Panthers. And with the Cowboys at 300 to 1, they need to win out and they need the Eagles to lose out. So not too likely there. Would not be tempted to take those big prices at all.
That's right. And the Eagles have the Commanders twice, right?
Yep. Yeah, Commanders and the Bills sandwiched between.
That's right. Buccaneers, though, 35 to 1, you are correct about that being the only division leader right now that has such high odds. But if they beat Carolina twice, you won't get 35 to 1, because that would mean that they're getting healthy and they look good doing it in these next 3 days, right? And could kind of get on a roll there. But
they'd also be in the dance officially. So yeah, when we get to postseason play, you're not going to see teams north of 30. At least I don't think.
It's just really that defense that makes me nervous. But could win a couple. Could have a nice ticket there.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the AFC. What are we seeing in this wide open conference right now?
The Bills and Broncos, co-favorites to be AFC champions. Bills 3 to 1, Broncos 3 to 1, and then the Texans and Patriots are their two short ones. $5 for the Texans, $5.50 for the Patriots. The Jags 7 to 1, and then everyone else double digits. Well, Colts triple digits, but they also need a lot of help. They need to win out, and also they'll also have the 2 head-to-heads with the 2 other teams above them in the division. So, if you do think that they'll make it, we'll talk about it in Coach of the Year as well. There could be an argument.
6.5 point underdog this first week against the Niners. So of course they got to get through that first, and then as you mentioned, the head-to-heads there. Anything jump out to you in this conference?
I do. I mean, I said it last week when we kind of went over it. I do like the Texans. I really like what their defense is able to do. And really the same vein with the Broncos. I really like what their defense is able to do. Just a matter of trusting their offense and getting the playmakers there. I don't trust the Bills defense, but granted, they will have the best value at MVP right now, and Josh Allen is going to be their quarterback. So, other than that, I mean, the Steelers are looking like they will be the ones to win the AFC North. They just have to win 2 of their final 3 in order to get that AFC North division crown. The Ravens need them to obviously lose 2 of their final 3, and the Ravens need to win out in order to get that AFC North back. So them being at 10-1 and the Steelers at 18-1, I mean, I understand the rosters and the play that we have available, or the plays that have already been made, and more than likely is why the numbers sit where they are.
Right.
But I would not be, in my mind, the Ravens should not be above the Steelers.
No, and you're right. I mean, they probably are, because the book already has some money on the Ravens, right? So you're not going to get as good of a price. So if you're looking at this thinking that the books know something that you don't, and that is why they have shorter odds, it's probably just the hold on them.
Yeah, just a liability.
What is the Chargers? What do they have to do to get a wild card spot here in the playoffs?
They are currently in a wild card position. They're the 5 seed or 6. Are they the 5 or the 6? One of the 2. They are the 5. So with the AFC East still in question, Patriots giving the Bills some help, could see a movement there, and the Chargers could slip. But 10-1. Also, their offensive line concerns. I wouldn't be tempted to play them. I do love what their defense is able to do, but when they're going to have to go into Denver or into Houston, into Buffalo, into Foxborough, don't think so.
I'm a little tempted now. I've been on the Broncos all year long, but now they've kind of done what I thought they could do, and that is win in the regular season. But now with the Chargers, and you brought up Houston, and who did the Chargers lose to last year in the playoffs? In a pretty shocking result, right? Where Herbert threw more interceptions than he had on the year.
Yep.
So a little revenge spot there for Harbaugh. And I don't know, that 10-1, I just think that's a little, I don't know, a little bit of a long shot there, taking a chance with the Chargers to make it through. With a conference that I do think is still wide open. I agree with you, though. I do like Houston and the Broncos because of their defenses, but seems like Justin Herbert is on a different level right now, and he's playing with a lot of confidence. So maybe he could have a little bit of that Josh Allen step up and lead his team to a couple victories.
The Chargers will more than likely be underdogs in the playoffs everywhere they go, because they're going to have to go on the road. So it might be better to roll it over,
Very true.
roll games over instead of taking the 10-1. But again, just to have the 10-1 in your pocket might not be bad.
No, you're right, because then you can jump off whenever you want, right? You can bet on money line that first game, and then if you want to do one more game, you can just roll that over, and then you can back off. So I like that, definitely. So that will probably be a team that I am looking to back, at least early on in the playoffs. All right, let's go to overall to win the Super Bowl. Where are the Rams currently? Where
The
I
two,
might be looking to bet against the Rams with all this hype right now going into postseason.
Yeah, numbers will move based off of tomorrow night's results. But the Rams, $3. You're only getting 3-1 for them to win the Super Bowl title this year. Seahawks, the 2 favorites to win the NFC, are your 2 favorites to win the Super Bowl. 6-1 for the Seahawks. Then your 2 favorites for the AFC, Bills and Broncos, 7 and 8. And then we get a little bit of a mix. Eagles, Texans, both at 9. Patriots, 10. Packers at 14. Niners at 18. And everyone else longer than 20.
All right. Well, that's why I wanted to go through this before revealing my top 10, because I wanted to see who jumped out to me. And I think I found the team. The only thing is, you had already said that the Chicago Bears may be standing in their way of even getting into the dance, if you know who I'm talking about now from the NFC North. But going through my top 10, sorry, Drew Dog, I'm going to jump to that really quick because not a ton of movement really same teams as last week, except for the Patriots did fall out of my top 10, but they are right there with the Ravens, with the Jags, with the Colts, all right there. But the Chargers sneak up a little bit, and I do think that they're a little bit undervalued. But they, of course, the offensive line is so important. So Rams, Seahawks, Bills, they all stay right there, 1, 2, and 3. Denver moves up a little bit, but I did say last week I had a log jam there with same numbers, and I do here this week as well. Broncos, Lions, Eagles, and Niners. I have all rated the exact same. Kind of just left it in order. Denver, Detroit, Eagles, and San Francisco with alphabetical order there. So however you want to put those. I don't really trust the Eagles yet. I'd like to see them win convincingly this week against the Commanders to prove that they are 100% back, right? We've seen their struggles all year long, and I think they have offensive line issues that didn't show up last week against the Raiders, but we'll see if they do moving forward. So I have San Francisco. They did bump up a little bit, and that's because the Packers moved back behind all of these teams. The Texans also jump ahead of the Packers. I like what I saw from their offense. Did that have more to do with the Cardinals' defense? We'll find out moving forward the next 3 weeks. So Packers move back to 9, and I just think now it's kind of a cluster of injuries, right? They've had the injuries on offense be a problem. Now they lose Micah Parsons, so we'll see. But I'm not really a believer in the Packers making a deep run, and then the Chargers at 10. But really, now if we could throw those Super Bowl odds back up, my top matches with the odds, right? The Rams, the Seahawks, the Bills, the Broncos, the Eagles too. The Texans are a little shorter, and I can understand that because liability with them, people taking a shot on them. But the Lions are all the way at the bottom there, 35-1. I wonder if that's my long shot. I might put a little ticket on.
They are live. They will not be eliminated this week, regardless of if they win or lose. There is playoff clinching scenarios, though. If the Lions do lose, the winner of Green Bay, Chicago clinches a berth, doesn't eliminate the Lions. And then if the Lions lose, period, the Seahawks clinch their berth. The Seahawks win tomorrow night, they clinch their berth anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, they clinch at least a wild card spot. So Lions absolutely still live. The thing that I think is pretty funny here is if the Bears win on Saturday and the Packers lose next Sunday night against the Ravens, so Packers lose their next 2, and the Bears win here on Saturday, win in San Francisco on Sunday next week, that would allow the Bears to rest their starters and make the playoff positioning between the Packers and Lions.
Wow.
And essentially give the win to his former team, his players, coaching staff, and allow the Packers to be held out of the playoffs. Do I think that is what they're thinking at all? Obviously not. But it would be pretty funny to see, just a way to keep the Packers out, help your old boys, but don't think they'll end up doing that because you want to keep the rhythm going heading into the postseason.
Yeah, but I mean, if you have a chance to rest your starters, you gotta,
I don't think they do it for the whole game. If it is a chance, I would
that
think,
too.
yeah, they might do it for half. But yeah, I don't think they would. But yeah.
So this game this week, the winner clinches their playoff berth.
Winner of Bears-Packers
Packers
plus a
Plus.
Lions loss clinches a berth.
Okay.
Other than that, it'll come down to 17 and 18 for the NFC North, ultimately.
That is what's tough about even placing any bets right now. I guess just one more team than the AFC, because the AFC has 8 teams for 6 spots, right? And the NFC, because the Rams are already in, have 9 teams fighting for the last 6 there. So that's what makes it tough putting money on a ticket right now with a chance that that team could not even be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So if that is something that worries other people, let's say last year, looking at the exactas after you have the playoff picture, right, then you can kind of take a long shot on one of those.
Yes.
Which I think is a good idea too. But okay, let's go to our awards before we take a break, and then we will get into tonight's action and give our best bets. But starting with the MVP, what are we seeing?
Well, tomorrow night's starting quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams, Matthew Stafford, best price available is -260 to win NFL MVP over on FanDuel. Drake May follows +425. Josh Allen has dropped. Last week we had mentioned 15-1. He has dropped to 6-1 is the best price available. Also over on FanDuel, and everyone else is in the triple-digit range. Bo Nix 100, Jordan Love 150, Caleb Williams 150. Those three getting boosted best price over at FanDuel, and then Sam Darnold, Justin Herbert 100, Dak Prescott, Trevor Lawrence 150, and then a lot of other guys getting 200 to 500 range.
It's pretty crazy. Remember when Dak Prescott's numbers or his odds were pretty low in there too? Now he is at 150. I think you said it last week that Matthew Stafford, it's pretty much his award to lose at this point, right? He'd have to have a pretty awful game like we saw against the Carolina Panthers, which I don't see another one of those happening. I do think tomorrow might be tough for him against the Seahawks defense. That you could even say that Colts tight game may have even been a little bit of a look ahead, where they thought Phillip Rivers came in and it was going to be a pretty easy one for them, and did not turn out that way. But I think they've definitely had this game circled. So do you think now, I mean, we missed it with Josh Allen. Now at 6-1, probably not worth a shot there. Yeah,
this one's ultimately who's going to be the quarterback of the 1 seed on their respective sides. And if it's Matthew Stafford in the NFC, it's his award to lose, as you said. So if they collapse and lose the 1 seed positioning, that opens the door for Drake May to take over as the odds-on favorite, or even Josh Allen, which if Drake May collapses, which is what I said last week, the best price was available at 15-1 on Josh Allen. It's too late to get the 6. No real value there. Rooting on other things to have to happen in order for them to bolster up.
Do we have the next 3 games coming up for these teams? Can we see that from the AFC? I'm curious the Patriots' schedule moving forward, and even potentially
Patriots are in Baltimore this week in MetLife Meadowlands, taking on the Jets, and then finish the year at home against the Dolphins.
Okay.
So not exactly a daunting schedule.
No, it's really not. And then the Rams either.
Yeah.
They just have tomorrow.
Yep.
And then they've got the Falcons and the Cardinals who are playing this week against each other. But all right, let's so then with that being said, because of that schedule for LA, I mean, I think that Sean McVay will have plenty of opportunities to pump up Matthew Stafford's numbers in the last 2 games, right? So even if tomorrow is a little bit, I feel like it's going to be a lower scoring game like we saw the first time. So that might not really help his case, but I think the last 2 games will.
Yeah. Even if they give up, or not necessarily give up, but take the loss tomorrow night, they still have Atlanta and Arizona to earn that 1 seed still, especially with Seattle and San Francisco having the head-to-head in Week 18. So, still ultimately Matthew Stafford's award to lose, and that's why you see a -260. So,
and then on the other side with Drake May, I mean, this is a tough matchup for him with Baltimore, just in the sense of that it's a very desperate team, and they do have the talent. Even though I mean, the Patriots are definitely playing better football and the more consistent team, but maybe we wait and see even. So,
the two favorites to win the MVP are in prime time this week, so the entire country will get to see and make a decision on what the odds will look like next week.
Let's go to the offensive side here with Offensive Player of the Year and Offensive Rookie of the Year.
We'll start with Offensive Player. We'll go with Jackson Smith-Njigba is a -475 favorite to win the Offensive Player of the Year, followed by Jonathan Taylor, best price 9-1. And then, wow, that is an incredible difference between DraftKings and FanDuel. Okay, Christian McCaffrey, 40-1 over on FanDuel, but on DraftKings he's less than 10-1. So,
wow.
Puka Nacua follows, or I think McCaffrey might actually be 12. Puka Nacua 15, Jahmyr Gibbs 22, Josh Allen 100, George Pickens 150, Drake May 250. Those quarterbacks, if the MVP conversation is there, they won't be winning the Offensive Player of the Year.
Right. I completely agree. It's tough for anybody to beat JSN now at this point, but man, just because of that number is so off for Christian McCaffrey. That's funny. We're going to see him and Jonathan Taylor in prime time against each other next Monday. So I wonder if either of those numbers could drop at that point.
I mean, yeah, the 40-1 is extremely tempting, especially because McCaffrey still has an open door to be in the 1 seed in the NFC.
Right.
Granted, it is a sliver, but still possibility. So, yeah, 40-1 is extremely tempting there.
Of course, though, Puka Nacua, 15-1. Now, if Adams is not playing in any of these games, his numbers are going to shoot up as well.
He'll obviously be Matthew Stafford's favorite target.
Yeah.
Just my one concern there is that he was taking some pretty hard shots last week and did get banged up. So it's definitely a matter of him staying healthy for the remainder of the year. And they can't, granted, he's your best offensive weapon, so you get him the ball any chance you get, but force feeding him might be a little dangerous, especially putting more wear and tear on the body before playoff time. So, yeah.
True. Solid point there. They have a bigger picture in mind, right, than individual awards, because they are definitely trying to win a Super Bowl, and as they are the favorites right now to do so.
Yep. And, I mean, not that it has anything to do with football, but Puka Nacua was with some streamers the other day, and Sean McVay had to tell him that the streamers weren't allowed into the team facility. So Puka might be a little distracted at the moment for some reason. But going to Offensive Rookie of the Year, we have a new favorite on the board, and we told you 22-1 last week, and he's now the favorite. Travion Henderson, plus 185 over on DraftKings, followed by Emeka Egbuka, plus 250 over on FanDuel. Tet McMillan moves to third in the list, plus 280 over on FanDuel. Jackson Dart, 550. Tyler Warren has dropped all the way to 25-1. Tyler Shuck follows 25-1. He was on the other side of the screen last week, so don't play Tyler Shuck. RJ Harvey, 35-1. Harold Fannin, 50. And then everyone else over 150.
So the top three guys there, I know you're not getting a great number on any of them, but all three of them are going to be in very meaningful football games for the next 3 weeks. So is it worth putting a little bit on who you believe? I mean, if we're that strongly about Tampa Bay, Egbuka still, but I mean, I think it is Henderson's right now.
Yes.
I really do. I think he has been tremendous for that Patriots team and their run game. And maybe they'll start actually giving him the ball even more. But what do you think? Because, I mean, even I was going to say McMillan shouldn't be that short of odds.
Yeah,
but
I don't think so either.
But what if he has great games?
Right.
Against Tampa Bay, he still gets to face that team twice. So,
yeah,
it's tough.
He is their best weapon. And if you think the Panthers ultimately end up getting it done and are able to get the head-to-head victories over the Buccaneers and get their way into the playoffs, yeah, Tet McMillan is exactly who they're going to need to follow to get through. Rico Dowdle as well, but he's not in the conversation for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Emeka Egbuka has struggled the last couple of weeks. They're also getting, have gotten Mike Evans back, Chris Godwin back, Jalen McMillan back. They have the other weapons. So at this point, you should have taken the 22-1 when we said it. But Travion Henderson, I do ultimately agree. Plus 185 is still a plus price. He's been explosive. He is taking over the number one job for them. So even if you're here late, I don't fault you for the plus price there.
Ryan, those three running backs on the other side are pretty tempting.
Yeah, but I don't know if they have enough of the conversation to steal it from Travion. I do get the Omarion Hampton and Kyle Monangai at 150. Kyle Monangai isn't going to take over the starting job from DeAndre Swift, though.
Yeah.
Woody Marks at 200 is only getting the starting because of the injuries that the Texans have in their backfield. So, yeah, while I do think their prices very well could drop, don't think they'll be able to be favored. Oh, and the Quinshon Judkins at the bottom, but I don't think they'll be able to get into the real conversation for winning this award.
Well, especially I forgot about RJ Harvey too.
Yep.
Who would probably be in the conversation first. And then of course the two guys that are actually playing decent under center in Jackson Dart and Tyler Shuck. So it'd be tough for any of them to jump ahead of those two. If all three of those offensive weapons were to kind of fall off the last few weeks, then it's probably going to go to one of those quarterbacks, right?
Yeah. Well,
can you make a case for RJ Harvey at 35-1?
Yeah, you need other things to happen.
Yeah.
In my mind. So while he could be a stud the last couple of weeks, I do think you need the Patriots to lose games. You need the Bucks to fall out of the playoffs. You need Ted McMillan to not be the guy that the Panthers go to. Jackson Dart, I mean, you need him to go into concussion protocol and not be playing. Tyler Warren isn't necessarily who the Colts will be following or using or having them lead the way. Really, the conversation there would be Phillip Rivers, and another thing, Coach of the Year. But yeah, if you are a Broncos backer and do think RJ Harvey should win the award, I don't fault you for wanting to take the chance at 35, but you need a lot of help in order to get there.
I would really have to look and dive into the number comparisons between Henderson and him still, but I have my ticket on Tyler Warren at a
Shorter.
Worse number there. But all right, let's go to the defensive side, both for defensive player, which I think is already kind of wrapped up, and then defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, we'll go to defensive player first because really no one deserves to be in the conversation other than the man that's minus 10,000. Myles Garrett will be attempting to break the sack records this week. Micah Parsons getting hurt takes him off the board completely. Nick Benito, Will Anderson at 50. I know I was pretty enamored with not being able to give Myles Garrett the award on such a bad team, but no one else has any right to the conversation. So yeah, it's Myles Garrett. So we can just move on to defensive rookie, which is also favored by a Brown. Carson Schwarzenegger, his price has cut in half from last week. He was a $4 favorite. He's now just $2.40. Best price available over on DraftKings. Nick Manwari for the Seahawks plus 360 over on FanDuel. And then everyone else, James Pierce 11-1, but everyone else, wow, there's a lot of differences with FanDuel and DraftKings. Holy cow. Yeah. Jalon Walker 100-1, Ezekaru 300-1. But on DraftKings, they're shorter than Jahdae Barron, who is 75-1. Malachi Starks 225. Also shorter than Jihad Campbell, who's 80-1 over on DraftKings. Abdul Carter has really not stood out the way that we thought he would going into the year because he was the odds-on favorite to start the year, and now 100-1 there. So,
I think that's just a lesson that you should be careful with any odds-on favorite, right? And if you follow college and you follow these guys and you want to take a shot, it will be pretty wild if the Browns have both defensive player of the year and defensive rookie of the year.
And they are so bad.
Yes.
So, they need a lot of help on the offensive side of the ball.
All right, let's take a look at coach of the year and comeback player of the year. You did say last week you were looking at Phillip Rivers. Let's see. I know his odds definitely dropped.
Yeah.
After last week, but starting off with coach of the year, of course.
Yeah, we'll go coach of the year. We did have a little fun with this one, keeping the guys that are eliminated and off the board still on our screen, and throwing Brian Dable back in there with a little bit of a terminated. But Mike Vrabel is the favorite, plus 130. Mike McDonald still follows. Liam Cohen, Ben Johnson, Kyle Shanahan, Sean Payton, Sean McVay. None of that order has changed in the last couple of weeks. Just price changes. So Mike Vrabel plus 130, best price. Mike McDonald 470, 550 for Liam Cohen. Those two prices are over on FanDuel. Best price available. Ben Johnson 650, Kyle Shanahan 750, Sean Payton 10, Sean McVay 60-1, D'Amico Ryan 75, and Shane Steichen is the guy that we're going to kind of talk about here at 100-1 with where the value is.
Wow. Well, you just said D'Amico Ryans too, and
Yeah.
75-1. That kind of looks like a good price too, because I mean, how many games did they lose to start the season, and now to go on this run, and you didn't have C.J. Stroud for a while, and just the injuries and that defense. So that one's pretty intriguing. But yes, Shane Steichen, 100-1, and we were comparing him to who won in 2023 in Kevin Stefanski with the Browns.
Yep. And the reason we are making that comparison is because in 2023 is when Deshaun Watson got hurt and they brought in Joe Flacco off the couch. Shane Steichen needs to, and his team needs to win out to get back into the playoffs with 2 head-to-heads with division opponents. But they just brought a quarterback off the couch that's been retired for 5 years. Joe Flacco wasn't necessarily even retired. But Phillip Rivers, off the couch, coaching high school football, retired for 5 years. Pushes his Hall of Fame campaign back another 5 years. So yeah, 100-1. If you think the Colts can get it done and get into the postseason, absolutely, that 100-1 will be gone, will not be available. So our guy Sean wanted to point that out. And if you think that they can get it done, 100-1 is the right price to take. But really, those 3 guys right there, Alex had mentioned D'Amico, and I had kind of was shocked by the 60-1 available on Sean McVay.
Yeah.
The Rams win tomorrow night, are likely to win their final 3 games of the season, finish the year at 14-3, number 1 seed in the NFC at 60-1. Yeah, you mean, you talk about it, the team was entering a rebuild, lost one of the best defensive players of all time in Aaron Donald to retirement. Yeah, 60-1 there. And then, yeah, you made the point with D'Amico Ryans losing the first 2 games of the year, missing C.J. Stroud and winning games with Davis Mills. And the way that defense is playing, 60-1 Sean McVay, 75 for D'Amico Ryans, and 100-1 for Shane Steichen, all really, really tempting.
I agree with all 3 of those. And the other note for Shane Steichen is it's not just what they could do right now in the last 4 weeks. It's what they did all year, right?
Yeah.
Getting Daniel Jones. Everybody had given up on him. And you were talking about their offense and what they were doing in the yards per play and throughout the entire season. And then if their defense can stand up and step up like they have been, like they just did against the Seahawks, we'll see how they do against the Niners. But that one's all 3 of those are very tempting. You can make a great argument for all of them. I will say, if you like the Rams tomorrow, you should probably take a little shot on that.
Yep.
We just talked about the last 2 games after the Rams have the Seahawks. They're going to have the Falcons and the Cardinals. And if they blow out those 2, that number could definitely drop dramatically. So you might have a good shot there. It's tough. There's a lot of good options and candidates on that list to be a voter and to actually vote for the coach of the year.
You kind of have to remind yourself of the narratives going into the year for each of those teams. The favorites were Mike Vrabel and Ben Johnson, knowing that they had to make a complete takeover of their teams, as well as Liam Cohen, who have all 3 done wonders for those organizations. All 3 of those teams, double-digit wins already. And Ben Johnson might be the only one looking out, but the other 2 already Jags haven't clinched, but looking like they'll be in postseason play. So, yeah.
And then, of course, I got my ticket on Mike McDonald. We'll see. Tomorrow is a huge game for that. So I wonder if I should take a little bit of Sean McVay to hedge that. They would have the 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's tough because then the other 2 are staring at me. But probably just that would be the best way to actually hedge it. But that's why, I mean, I would make the case for Mike McDonald, not just because I have the ticket, but it's tough to do it 1 year, but to do it 2 years, I mean, bigger sample size, getting their team to 10 wins back to back with Sam Darnold. And I mean, now what you're seeing and the fallout with Pete Carroll and Geno Smith over here might not help the case so much. But
I think the key thing with Mike McDonald is they have to win tomorrow night, and they have to win in Week 18 against the Niners. You're able to win the NFC West.
Yep.
you have a lot more right to the conversation to jump Mike Vrabel and Liam Cohen and Ben. Well, they're already above Liam Cohen, but jumping Mike Vrabel,
100%.
respecting the division that the NFC West is, not so much what the AFC East is. So yeah, in order for that Mike McDonald, you need them to win those 2 games against the division opponents this week and in Week 18.
Most of those favorites are fighting for positioning in the playoffs, and look at poor Sean McDermott over there. Just
Yeah.
500 to 1. They could still get the 1 seed of the AFC, and he wouldn't have a shot to win that one.
Yeah, he's not necessarily respected for what he's able to do as a head coach for that team just because of how much of a difference maker Josh Allen is.
Yep.
And if Josh Allen wasn't their quarterback, Sean McDermott, Josh Allen covers a lot and would for any coach in the National Football League. So
Said perfectly. All right, let's see comeback player of the year.
All right, the favorite minus 230 is Christian McCaffrey. We talked about Phillip Rivers last week at 18 to 1. He is now the second favorite, plus 550, plus best price available over on FanDuel. You missed it, but they do need to win out. And if they do beat the Niners this week, we might be looking at a different favorite going into next week. So, especially because those 2 teams face each other this week. So,
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence plus 950, best price available. Dak Prescott 750, and then everyone else. Aiden Hutchins, JJ McCarthy are the 2 guys with in double digits, 35 and 80, and then everyone else triple digits, and really don't have part of the conversation. So
I'm going to make a case for Trevor Lawrence right now.
Okay.
Because all the attention is on those 2. What if we get kind of a boring field goal type of game? And Trevor Lawrence is coming off a game where he had 5 touchdowns, and if he can put up some gaudy numbers the next couple weeks, he's definitely got a case. And if they win that division, right?
Yep. And that would go hand in hand with Liam Cohen being able to win Coach of the Year, the kind of quarterback guru, what he's been able to turn around some quarterbacks in previous stops before getting this head coaching job in Jacksonville. So, yeah, $950 is a very tempting price there for Trevor Lawrence, especially with Phillip Rivers. You don't really. It is a good story, but how many games are they really going to win? If they're eliminated from postseason contention before Week 18, will he still be one of the top 2 favorites?
Right.
Don't really think so.
And I mean, Christian McCaffrey's really kept this team going.
Yep.
Whether it was Purdy or Mac Jones, they found ways to win. They have had an easier schedule, though. And I don't think that they're going to get I don't think they're going to win that division. I think it's between the Rams and the Seahawks. So
yeah, I do not fault you at all for that $950.
I might have to take a shot there. That's the best number, and that is on
FanDuel.
All right. Well, we don't have FanDuel available here.
Yeah, you're gonna have to take a drive, but yeah, I don't. Dak, good story. I don't think their offense is going to be enough down the stretch in order to pad those stats and get them over these other guys, especially because they need the help to get in the postseason picture. And unless you're in the postseason picture, I don't really think, well, defensive player of the year is a different conversation. Defensive rookie is a different conversation. But for these performance awards,
Yeah.
you kind of need to be in the playoffs.
I agree. And then, I mean, the rest. What did we say about JJ McCarthy earlier? I can't believe he's still even an option for people to bet there.
Yeah. You had made the point that they had made an alteration to how this award is voted, with giving the award to Joe Flacco instead of DeMar Hamlin needing to come back from extenuating circumstances rather than being bad. So JJ McCarthy coming back from injury, but didn't play at all last year. So you didn't know what he was in the NFL. So if you don't have anything to compare it to in the NFL, why would it be a comeback?
Well, I mean, I guess just with that being said, it's just coming back from that injury and not really skipping a beat is what how you could kind of define that if you wanted to try and stretch it for JJ McCarthy, right? Because it is his rookie year.
Yeah.
And he had to sit behind while rehabbing. And now if he's done enough, but I don't think he's done enough.
The key part of your statement there, I think, is skipping a beat. And he looked bad for a few weeks. So, yeah, I don't know if he'll be able to convince voters with his performances to finish the stretch here.
I think a lot of people are going to be pretty impressed with Trevor Lawrence in this. Now, because it wasn't just concussions. He had what was his major injury?
Didn't he tear his ACL?
Was it ACL?
It was a leg injury.
It was
almost positive, 90% there.
I don't know if it was ACL or fracture, but I do agree that it was leg injury. But that and the concussions were looking a little scary for a while too. But all right, we will check on that a little bit longer than I thought. But it's very interesting stuff, and it is actually
just a concussion.
Just the concussions?
Yeah.
Okay. So does that
shoulder surgery in 25, early in 25? So I mean, yeah, coming off of shoulder surgery.
Okay.
Having the year that he's having, winning the division, winning the AFC South when they weren't the favorites to do so, when they were down early in the year with Colts starting 6-1. Yeah, that 950 is really tempting.
I think that is probably one of the best that we had seen besides those three coaches. And let us know in the chat of those three, who you would be betting on right now, where it is D'Amico Ryans, Sean McVay, or Shane Steichen at those long shot odds. Curious on that. Well, anything else for NFL?
Not for NFL, but I was going to say we want your thoughts there, what you guys think with these awards, but we also wanted your thoughts with today's poll, and it was involving the 2 bowl games that'll be being played today. So Hump Day bowl plays. What's your play in the 2 bowl games today? Old Dominion getting the points, plus 3.5, plus 110 or minus 110 here at the South Point. And in that same game, over 52.5, minus 110 here at the South Point. And then in the Delaware UL Lafayette game, Delaware getting the 2 or over 61. So go ahead and let us know what your thoughts are. Go ahead and vote in the poll. If you comment, we'll give you a shout out. But thank you for watching live.
And then coming very soon, we will be breaking down and looking at NHL awards. So just kind of looking at FanDuel right now with Logan Thompson 2-1 to win the Vezina, and then Sorokin for the Islanders. His odds have definitely jumped as of late. Chicago Blackhawks goalie Spencer Knight 8-1. So this will be very interesting to start tracking too. Connor Hellebuck now 14-1. Now he's coming back playing good off of an injury. Shesterkin, Volstedt, and on. These great goalies here. I will say Gustafsson right now, who played last night when I thought it was going to be Jesper Volstedt, but it was Philip Gustafsson. Shutout win for him over Washington, 100-1. I think he's stepping up, so that one might be a flyer I might take early on. But we'll start breaking down and looking at hockey as we get a little bit closer to that midway point for that season. But all right, it's 10:50. We got to take a quick break. When we get back, we will go over our best bets for the night. 5 hockey games on the board. I definitely have 2 best bets, and then we'll see if we can find anything in the bowl games when we get back here on Sports by the Book.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Here we go. We are back here on Sports by the Book, and our ticker trivia is live, brought to you by City Lights Shine. 3 locations. You can find that at Lee's Liquor, Total Wine, and then, of course, the gift shop here at the South Point. Jump in if you know the correct answer. It's a contest. We want to see who gets the right answer first. All right, let's dive into tonight's action. But first, Ryan, forgot my other laptop to have up here to check the chat, but I guess Dean Hill jumped in on his thoughts for Coach of the Year.
Yeah, he agrees that Sean McVay is very tempting at that 60-1. So of those 3, he would bet McVay to win Coach of the Year.
Do you think it helps at all that he did just have his second child?
A little bit
well,
more
the
of a
voters
dad
like
boost.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sure.
Why not? The storyline there. All right, let's get into tonight's action. And I did just want to say, because Attila had asked yesterday, we missed it when Matt was here, about the field goals for the 49ers on prime time. I mean, my thought is, yes, I like it, because after seeing the Colts not give up a touchdown to the Seahawks, right? I mean, maybe the Niners settle for a few more field goals than usual. What do you think?
I don't hate it. Obviously, we're talking about a primetime game, and primetime unders and primetime field goals is Matt's trends there. But my one concern is that it has been a kicking carousel for the Niners this year. They haven't found a consistent kicker in order to be their place kicker. So I would not be playing to get 4 in the game.
Okay, good. Well, I know I like how you say I don't hate it, but you could tell that meant I don't really like it at all. Yeah. So we're going to stay off of that prime time. We'll dive into that more. We'll look into it more before Football Frenzy on Friday. Ryan always brings props, anytime touchdowns, things like that as we go through the whole slate with the bookmakers. Going to the bowl games tonight, Old Dominion and South Florida. This is in Montgomery, Alabama. This is going to be a tough game for you to bet now that it is moved dramatically because, of course, Byron Brown is not playing for South Florida. Starting quarterback for Old Dominion will also not be playing, but they are a run-first offense, and I think their backup will fit in just fine here. But now only catching 4 points with Old Dominion. Ryan, where did that – I mean, that is a big drop.
This has moved all over the place. Open South Florida -6, got as low as 2, and we're back now up to 4. And it was steady movement all the way down to 2, and has been steady movement all the way back up to 4. So a lot of Andrew, you got it? Two-way action. A lot of two-way action in this one.
Two-way action.
On the sides. And even the total. Open 55.5, jumped to 53.5. Down 53, 52, 51.5, and now back up to 52.5. So this one has a lot of action all over the place. I don't have a play, so I won't give any advice on where to bet it.
I mean, when we talked about it last week with Chris and Vinny, I really liked Old Dominion catching, and that was at 3.5 at that point, but I mean, even when we saw yesterday, Jacksonville State was fortunate to get the win, but you can see the difference, right? And I'm just worried about the talent gap between these two, even though South Florida will be without their head coach in Alex Golish, who's now the Auburn head coach. And then Ohio State's OC was hired to take over there, Brian Hartline, but he will not do that until after Ohio State's run. So an interim coach, Old Dominion, they do have more stability. Their coach signed an extension. As I mentioned, no Colton Joseph, their starting quarterback. They will be going with their backup, who did see a little bit of time, but not much. So I've got nothing either. Long way of saying I would be careful. But I do think Old Dominion has a chance to definitely put some points on the board. So maybe that's a way you could play it, looking more to their team total, even though South Florida defensively was pretty good this year. Next one up with Delaware and Louisiana Lafayette. I really do have nothing in this one. What are we seeing with the movement here? Delaware catching 2 points in this bowl game.
Yeah, it's been open 3, 2.5, 2, 2.5, 2. So a take of the 3 and the 2.5, but been a lay of the 2. Total has been steady up. Did go down briefly at one point, but open 57.5, jumped all the way to 60, 60.5, 61.5, 62, 61, 61, or 61.5, 61, 61.5, and now 62.5. So a lot of action to the over here in this one. Funny enough, both. I had for some reason put the notes that the both games were in Alabama, but the Cure Bowl is in Orlando. So
I thought one of them was in Orlando, but
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Old Dominion, South Florida, in Florida. So should be a home crowd there for South Florida.
Yeah, which is actually kind of nerve-wracking too. I think you missed the best of it if you like that over for that Delaware game, because it has just gone too high now. I would be careful and tread lightly there because, I mean, Delaware's injuries all seem to be on the offensive side, missing a wide receiver and a running back. So, yeah, I would just tread lightly with that over. Let's go to the ice with some matchups we feel comfortable about giving out here, starting with the Kings and the Panthers. This one's interesting, Ryan. Panthers coming off a big win over Tampa Bay. Could that be a little bit of a letdown spot here? Kings on the other side, though, and you brought it up the other day. Darcy Kemper is not playing in this one, so they are without their starting best goalie.
Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily think it's a letdown spot for the Panthers. It is them coming back home off of a road trip. I like the Panthers here. I know it took me a little while to say it, but Kings, you look at their road record, 10-3-5 on the year, but have lost 3 straight in general, and in their last 6 games on the road, they are 1-2-3, 3 overtime losses, so 1-5 on the money line on the in road games. Florida playing really, really well. Not just a big win against Tampa, but they did really good on their road trip. Shut out the Dallas Stars. So, yeah, I like the Panthers here. They played their only other matchup of this year. They're only playing 2 since they're on opposite conferences. Panthers won 5-2 in LA over a month ago. So it's not like it's fresh in the Kings' mind to kind of combat that and get one back. I do think the Kings are going to struggle tonight, and I've got to play on the Panthers puck line here.
I like it, especially because, I mean, they don't really have an opportunity to have a letdown, right? They have to just keep stacking wins here to get into the playoffs. So I definitely think that is the right side. And I know we don't really look for letdowns, look aheads, things like that, like in football. Just I know how much those two hate each other. So that one is one that kind of stood out to me for that reason. But all right, the Panthers for Ryan going puck line there. This next one's interesting. Both on the second night of a back-to-back.
Yeah. Detroit minus 120 at home against the Utah Mammoth. Even money for the Mammoth if you want to play them on the road. Total at 6 with juice to the over.
And looking into this, neither very good on the second of a back-to-back. Detroit 1-4 on the year, and the Mammoth 1-5. I think the number's just right. I make Detroit a little bit higher at home, minus 130, and I do have a higher total at 6.5, but I'm going to stay off of it just because both of them just playing last night. And then looking at their records on that second night, it was definitely because of the goal scoring.
I would be a lot more confident in the Red Wings offense. They've been doing really well recently. They're also trying to get Patrick Kane to the milestone mark of 500 goals. He is out for the next 2 games for the Red Wings. So they will be missing a key part of how their offense has been operating the last few days or last few weeks, especially with the familiarity between Alex DeBrincat and said Patrick Kane. So if he was playing, it would be more so a confident play on the wings. But it's also looking like it'll be Cam Talbot in net for them,
Yep.
who has lost 5 straight starts.
Yep.
So cannot confidently play the Red Wings here. It's going to be a stay away from me.
No, if anything, I mean, that actually makes me lean a little bit more to Utah because I had that exact same note about Cam Talbot. So I do not trust him. But I thought it was going to be Vejmelka on the other side last night, and they did not play him. So definitely think there's the goalie advantage on Utah's side. So it would be Mammoth or pass, but I am going to pass. I do have something in this next one, though.
All right. So, yeah, 2 teams on the second of a back-to-back in Utah and Detroit. 2 teams on the first of a back-to-back here in St. Louis with the Winnipeg Jets. Jets, I skipped over Carolina and Nashville, but since I brought it up, we'll go with Winnipeg and St. Louis. Winnipeg minus 140 on the road, plus 120 for the Blues on the buyback. Total is at 5.5 flat.
I understand this. I made it 125. It's 140 for the Jets here. I would only be betting Winnipeg. I just don't trust St. Louis at all. And Hellebuck being back now, and he is playing good. Can he make it 3 in a row? You and I were talking about this one before the show, and because my numbers are a little bit higher than that 5.5, but could not confidently play that unless it was Jordan Binnington going here for the Blues, then I would. But maybe a Winnipeg Jets team total over, right? They're playing with more confidence since getting their starting goalie back. And, yeah, I think we could see him put up a few goals here tonight, especially Joel Hofer, his 316 goals against average and an 890 save percentage. So is that still the way you were leaning with this matchup?
Yeah, I liked the Jets to begin the year. I did not like the Blues at all. I haven't liked the Blues at all in my life. So, but to handicap this game specifically, first of the back-to-back for both teams, but the Blues are hosting the Rangers tomorrow, and then they go to the Panthers, to the Lightning, and then they play Nashville again, who they just got beat up by twice, giving up 12 goals in 2 games to a team that is at the bottom of the NHL. And another thing, just how their schedule has played out. When the Blues lose one game, they aren't necessarily able to bounce back. They start a little bit of a losing streak. So if they are going to win one, it would be tonight, because I don't think they win any of those next 4 that they're playing. So we could be staring a 6+ game losing streak in the face for the Blues here, if you're a Blues backer.
Jets have lost 3 in a row in road games, but that was without Hellebuck. So I don't know. Let's pass on this one. Yeah. It's a pretty tough one to handicap.
All right, we'll go back in rotation. The one I skipped over, the Carolina Hurricanes on the road in Nashville, taking on the Predators. The Canes are a minus 175 road favorite here at the South Point. Plus 155 is your buyback for the Preds, both of which, well, depending where you go. If you compare it to BetMGM, best price, both laying the price and getting the buyback, it is better here at the South Point. And then you can look around, but more than likely, best price is going to be here at the South Point. But yeah, what do you think here?
I think the number's right. I made Carolina 165, so buyback at 155 wouldn't be enough there sidewise. But I think this total should be 6.5. And I know Nashville has an over streak going. 5 of their last home games have all gone over, but remember 2 of those. Were both of those with St. Louis? No, because one of them was on the road with them. But still, they definitely have been scoring more. But I think Saros will be able to do enough in this one to slow Carolina down. And at first, it made me nervous whenever we didn't have Frederick Anderson. But the other 2 goalies are both playing very well. And I think it will be Bussy here in this one, who his numbers, let me pull those up right here. Oh, no, it just switched. All right, well, they are going with Kochetkov, I can't say that name. 5-1, 2.1 goals against average, and a 902 save percentage. So we're going with the under here. Under 6, worst case push. I don't think we're seeing a lot of goals between these 2.
Really weird scheduling for the Predators here. This will be the third different opponent that they've played in their last 6 games. These two teams played 11 days ago, and then Nashville played against Colorado and St. Louis, and then Colorado and St. Louis, and now Carolina again.
That is weird.
Carolina's won 4 straight, 3 straight, all in a shootout. Start of a mini road trip here for the Canes. Have to go to Sunrise and then Tampa to take on the Panthers and Lightning. So if you want the confidence boost here for the Canes, they need to get the business done here in Nashville in order to feel good going into the Sunshine State.
11 days ago, what was that final?
6-3.
Whew.
So it wasn't over. Canes covered the puck line.
Yeah. I think they'll
Lean
cover
that
the
way
puck line
again
again. Yeah. I mean, it is just it's a gap between these two.
It's a canyon.
So taking that plus 145 is pretty tempting as well. Last but not least, I've got all my Knights gear on because I will be at the game tonight. And they will be hosting the Devils. What are we seeing? Any movement on this?
This one's priced the same as the last one that we just talked about. It opened minus 180 for the Knights, 160 for the Devils, and it was a take with the Devils there. So 155, now 175 with the Knights. Total is 5.5 with 115 to the under.
It's funny because our sites that we use are so opposite, but we're going to go with goalie post in this one with projected to be Jake Allen, not Jacob Markstrom, got me confused there. And Carter Hart, we think it'll be those two going. Makes me a little more cautious, but I still made this game closer to a 6.5 where we're getting a 5.5. So I did already bet the over between these two. It's been a struggle for the Devils, 3-7 in their last 10 games. They're just 8-8 on the road. Knights are playing with some confidence, with some momentum, 6-2 in their last 10. So I like both the over and I like the Knights here at minus 175.
Yeah.
What about you?
First game back in the Fortress for the Knights off of a 5-game road trip in which they did really well. And that road trip started in New Jersey in the Prudential Center against these Devils, in which the Knights won 3-0. So could be a bounce back for the Devils, but they've won 2 of their last 9 and only 5 of their last 15. So would not at all be a confident play on the Devils. They would more so be rooting for our Knights here in Vegas.
All right. I'm with you. Knights. That shutout 3-0 makes me nervous, but I'm already on the over. So let's go. We need some goals here. Preferably from both. I just closed my phone. I have 3 basketball picks for anybody who is watching live here. From Kenny White. He has given out today Santa Barbara minus 4.5, Kennesaw State plus 3.5, and Cleveland State and UAB over 160.5. So rotation numbers, I'm sure Ryan was looking for those right now. 661 Santa Barbara minus 4.5, 675 Kennesaw State plus 3.5, and then 684 Cleveland State and UAB over 160.5. So good luck with those. Let's catch some college basketball. I'm actually going to add one too. I like Georgetown plus 5.5 today against Marquette. This is not the Marquette team that we are used to. Shaka Smart's team has been struggling as of late, and they've had a very tough schedule. But they come into this one on back-to-back losses from Wisconsin and Purdue. And if you've been with us for a while on Sports by the Book, you know we are Ed Cooley fans with Georgetown. We just think he's a great basketball coach. 3 losses, that's it on the year. 7-3 for them coming into this one. And they have some big wins, including Clemson, who we've been talking about, and talking about their defense. They beat them 79-74. So I think they're going to be up for this one. They are coming in off of an overtime win that makes me a little bit nervous, but it's a big conference game. So I'm taking the 5.5. I think they'll keep it close here against Marquette. So there's 4 college basketball that we were not expecting. Let's go to the poll. Let's go to the trivia. And then let's wrap it up and give out our best bets.
All right, we'll start with Ticker Trivia, presented by City Light Shine, available at Lee's Discount Liquor, Total Wine, and here at the South Point Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. Again, Legend edition bottle, special edition bottle available. Earning it here at the South Point. But it was a basketball question for you guys today. In a record blowout win that stood for nearly 30 years as the most lopsided game in NBA history, the Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Miami Heat 148-80 on this date back in 1991, December 17th, 1991. Question was, which two teams were involved in the game that stands as the current record for most lopsided game in NBA history, which is a recent one here in 2021? That answer would feature last year's NBA champion, the Oklahoma City Thunder, but they were the losers in that game. Wow. Defeated 152-79 by the Memphis Grizzlies on December 2nd, 2021. What a different trajectory those two teams have gone on since then. But this 73-point blowout was the largest margin of victory on record in the NFL as well, in which the Chicago Bears defeated the Washington Redskins, the better name, 73-0 in the 1940 NFL championship game.
Anybody get that correct?
We did not get a specific answer, but Dean was right in thinking that it was an over 70-point win. So not wrong there, Dean. Going with today's poll, which our poll was a winner yesterday, taking the Flyers on the road, against the Canadians, ending their road streak there, getting a plus price. But today, Hump Day Bowl plays. What are your plays in today's two bowl games? Old Dominion plus 3.5, or in that game, the over 52.5, both minus 110 here at the South Point. And then Delaware, catching 2, or the over in that UL Lafayette and Delaware game. 61 is that total. Also, both minus 110 available here at the South Point. And our viewers, a very strong 62% taking the 3.5, the more points there with Old Dominion and the Monarchs in tonight's Cure Bowl.
I like it. And so far, the chat, I want to say is undefeated. Not undefeated, but I really feel like they only have like one loss. So another good win yesterday. Very good. Let's keep it going with Old Dominion, who is the more complete team coming into this bowl game for sure. So I like that one. All right, let's go to our best bets. I will kick it off. I'm going to repeat those KW plays, and then I'm throwing 3 plays up here, and then I will throw it to Ryan to wrap it up for the day. Okay, so KW plays one more time. Santa Barbara minus 4.5, Kennesaw State plus 3.5, and Cleveland State UAB over 160.5. Those are to say thank you for all of our new subscribers who are joining us. And remember, 100 more. Help us get to our goal for the end of the year. My 3 plays, Carolina, Nashville under 6, New Jersey Devils, VGK over 5.5. I will also be playing the Vegas Golden Knights, but that is a big favorite, minus 175. And I'm taking the points here with Georgetown and Ed Cooley's team, plus 5.5 against Marquette. So there we go. Bigger board than usual. Let's send it over. Oh, Ryan's got a board.
I found a board.
There we go.
So I'm brightening things real quick.
Okay, so let's give Ryan a shot there.
Yeah, we'll go with them two. We'll go money line on this one. We're going with. All right. Well, give me a second, please.
You can take a second. So we'll be back tomorrow, Thursday. We will have Dwayne Colucci joining us from the Rampart, of course. We'll get his thoughts on hockey. If he likes any plays, he'll also give us pony picks, as he always does. And then we will break down the Rams and the Seahawks, give our official plays and bets for that big NFC showdown. We'll also look ahead to some of the Week 16 games. Friday at noon, Football Frenzy. You can bookmark the show now with myself, Ryan, Chris Andrews, and Vinny. So that is the plan for the week. And next week, we're going full force the entire week. The only day we will not be here is December 25th on Christmas. Besides that, you can plan on catching us at the normal time as always. So, all right, let's throw it over to Ryan for his best bets on this Wednesday.
2 puck lines. Carolina Hurricanes on the road in Nashville getting plus 145, and the Florida Panthers at home against the Kings, getting plus 185 here at the South Point. So 2 plus prices, 2 puck lines. Let's get big wins there in those games.
I like it. Honestly, I think, I think it's going to be a puck line type of night. I might have to follow those two as well as the Vegas Golden Knights. So
Wouldn't hate a puck line there too.
it kind of goes perfect. Every other one game-wise. So. All right, that's it for us on this Wednesday. Thank you if you were watching live. Thank you if you were watching the replay. Please share our shows and follow us on social media because we have a lot of great clips coming out, especially from all of our specials that we are working on. So thank you to the crew, Jerry, Vince, Ann, Sean, and Drew Dog. For Ryan McCormick, I'm Alex White. This is Sports by the Book. Come say hello. We are live from the South Point Hotel and Casino 5 days a week. Cash some tickets. Let's go Knights. I'll see you guys again tomorrow.